good news. They'll like me. I'm an old school teacher. I operate on the principle that my mind will only absorb what my butt will endure. So I was down at Pigeon Forge over the weekend, and we had an occasion to listen to a pretty good bluegrass band down there, and they was talking about this. Oh no, just got enough copies for you guys. So this one old boy was talking to the other, playing his fiddle and stuff, and he said, "I've had a bad sinus problem." And the guy said, "Sinus problem? You mean sinus problem?" He said, "No, sinus problem. I was out with my girlfriend last night. My wife's sinus." Like I said, I come bearing good news. We got the generator project, thanks to the county commission, funded for the county. But this, I'm starting out with this tonight to try to work out some of these problems. All the sites aren't the same, and this one's a special site because we don't have a fuel source here. And what we're going to have to special order the generator. The money is not a problem, it's there. So I thought what I'm going to do with each one of these generator sites is I'm going to visit the organization. I think Monday night's McClellan, and the 10th is Greenwood, and the 13th is Smith Community, and I've been contacting all the organization. I'm going to do the same thing I'm doing here tonight with each one of them and try to, because there's some questions that's going to have to be answered and some things, decisions are going to have to be made. As far as the generator goes, it's a 48 kW generator. We're going to pay for the installation of the unit, the pad, all the installation, all the electrical work, everything has to be done that. What you guys are being responsible for when we're doing this is every organization is the fuel. Now, the two fuel sources that pop into mind for this one is propane or natural gas. I've talked to Randy about this a couple times. You got a gentleman working here named Nicholas.
Nick Stark?
I talked to his mom today. Del Prado, Ohio, when I was doing some of this stuff, research on this. The 48 kW generator is, most of the organizations are getting a 20 kW, the park's getting 150 kW. There's a list of all the generator sites, all the shelter sites and generator sites back here with the size generators are getting. Each one's different. I think Greenwood's getting a 70 kW. Most of it has to do with the size of the building and the availability of natural gas and electric. But we have to do something else. Now, I went down the list today and I started out with this, and I had a bunch of questions, so I talked to the contractor and I emailed him, or faxed him, and he emailed me back some stuff, and it's going to take a minimum, he recommended a minimum 1,000-gallon storage tank, which is actually 800 pounds of propane. That's a 10-day run on the generator. And his experience was last year when it went down, a lot of people had 500-gallon tanks, which was approximately a 5-day run. It ran more than 5 days. The electrical power outage did. Then they didn't have telephone systems. They couldn't get hold of their generator. I mean their propane supplier. So they had basically a big lead slug sitting out in the yard that wasn't working. So this gentleman's recommending, he said, "I'll never recommend anything less than a 1,000-gallon tank." So he sent me, that's 7.6 gallons per hour of run time, and the line size that has to come off the tank, and he said they're normally plastic lines, is a 2-inch line, that's inside the at 100 feet. I estimated 100 feet. The generator's going to set out here between the two buildings where it can supply both buildings. He's going to put the extra cutoff switch in there, and then what he's going to do is be able to supply both buildings off one generator. We had 3 prices on generators, or we had 2 prices, and we visited the site 4 times. But the other guy recommended 2 different generators, and one guy recommended, this guy recommended one generator with 2 cutoff switches, and they were the low bid. The other thing about the fuel tank is it has to be at least 25 feet under state law from the building. So I figured it up in this side of the parking lot someplace. There's going to lose parking space. Run the line down the back, and I estimated 100 feet. Now, natural gas, it just requires a 2-inch line. And I understand your natural gas is this way at the road. Trailer Park Road down there near Lawrence's area down
The
there.
actual line comes off the hill, and he's actually got to bury it under the creek to bring it into his trailer park. So he's going through a problem with that. And Dominion, we talked to, does not want to bring the line up here. We've spoken with Equitable, and they would have to bring the line clear from the middle school all the way down to hit us. Now, Dominion said they could go across the graveyard if we could get a right of way and drop the line over there, but we're talking over $10,000 for them to drop a line in for us. So propane is going to be the choice.
Propane costs $2 propane costs $1.69 a foot for an install price, and refill price is $2.09 a foot or a gallon. $2.09. They said it'd approximately be about between $2,500 and $3,000 for your installation for propane. Plus, you'll be responsible for the refill on all the propane. The generator will come on and run a cycle weekly. Normally, my generator runs 15 minutes on Fridays. You can set it up different times, different cycles, but it'll come on and run. It does not disconnect your electric, so it won't interrupt your computer or anything, but it runs what they call exercise cycle. The generators come with an out-of-the-box 5-year warranty, so you'll not be responsible for that. The only thing they recommend is what they call yearly maintenance, and that's an air cleaner, oil filter, and oil change. You will be responsible for that. I'm going to recommend to the county commission the first month that we can pay for that out of my funds. I'll set an account up over at Napa. Ronnie said he could, if we give him the numbers, he would maintain the stuff there for each generator. You get down and pick this stuff up there, he would bill me. So, but you'll physically have to get somebody to turn the wrenches and do the work on the generator. As far as like I said, it comes out of the box with a 5-year warranty, so that's a pretty good deal, I think, on the generators. They're Generac generators. They're, like I said, this is a 48 kW. The second sheet there is the line size. I've highlighted the capacity there to set the line size. The other thing that we're going to have to deal with, and I've talked to Harry at the County Commission, the Assistant Prosecutor Harry. Okay, I never pronounced his last name right, so I wasn't going to try. I figured if Greg was here, he'd know. Is when I called the state of the OES office in Charleston, they recommended what's called a memorandum of agreement, and this is a rough copy that we started with. And basically, what it does is tie all the organizations together. That the generator belongs to the OES, that you have custody of it, it's on your site, it's on your property, and this be there for the foreseeable future. But Harry's writing it up legally. It just states that it belongs to us, but if you don't want the generator on your property anymore for any reason, then you give us 30 days written notice, and we'll make arrangements to move it. Or if for any reason, I don't know what it'd be, but Harry said we had to do this reciprocal, so we don't need the generator here anymore, then we can come and get it. We have to give you 30 days notice that we're coming to get it. A lot of the other things spell out the obligation, the alternative power source, and it goes down through, and like I said, he's writing all this up. He was supposed to have me a rough draft prior to tonight, but when I called him today, he just grinned. I know he's grinning on the other side of the phone because I could just tell from his voice that he hadn't worked on it, so he'll get to it. I'll probably be back at one of the other meetings. We'll sign it. The contractor told me he had 23 generators to install before he could start working in Dodge County, which meant that he said it'd probably be earliest 1st of July before he could even start here. We're going to work on the principle that they're all going to be done this summer. You are not responsible for any electric work, any site work, anything like that. They'll take care of setting the generator up. The only thing you'll be responsible for is, like I said, supplying the fuel, and it should be in prior to their start of installation because they need to test the generator with. Basically, that's where we are right now. Like I said, we're going to travel to each one of these sites, talk to each one of the departments, memorandum of agreement I'll bring back around when it's ready to go. And we'll go through and physically I'll have to have the board's approval and signature by the president. we've got different situations going on at probably each one of these. The Dodge County Park elected to take their money, and they're gonna add to it and double the size of the generator, go from running to one building to the whole park. So they'll have backup power at the whole park, which makes them a primary shelter in the area. This will be classified as shelter, but will be used as a shelter. I would say probably will be used for different things, but I don't know that on every disaster we're gonna need shelters at every place. But with the park here as a primary shelter, we're gonna do a generator for the Smithburg Fire Department here. We've got some special conditions at McClellan and Banks because they've both been flooded in the past, so we're gonna have to build stands up or get them up off the ground. Each one of these is separate installations. So we're gonna try to address each one of them and on a basis. And what I would like from you guys right now is if you would start into this, and you start, number one, I'd like for you to contact, there's a couple numbers on here down at the bottom for air gas and that outfit in Belpre that I met that boy's mother today on the phone, and those are operating numbers. I talked to both of them today. Both of them service Doddridge County. Both of them are willing to sign agreements. Both of them have first time, what they call hookup deals. It'll be up to your board to decide which one, but I'd like to see some movement in that direction. I would also like to get a contract date for installation. If you decide, I understand there's a gas furnace in here, and if you decide to change that over to use propane, keep your propane fresh.
Furnace.
Huh?
It's a propane furnace.
Okay, well, you can also, the line is of such size that the coming off the generator you tap on didn't use it. I don't think you got a problem with propane like you do with diesel, but they recommended if you got to 30% call and ask for a refill, and then that keeps it on the full side in case of emergency. If you have questions, please, when you start this process, get a hold of me. I don't probably not know a lot of the answers, but the gentleman, the contractor, is taking care of this does. He's very nice. He's been very easy to work with to this date. I email him or fax him out some stuff, questions. He faxes back the answer. In fact, this one sheet in here that's all handwritten on, he just wrote on it and faxed it back to me. So, but there's a lot of questions like I'd have never thought about asking inside or outside diameter on the pipe. That's the first person somebody said to me. And that was out of Smith School, one of the guys, an oil and gas guy, and I said, well, you'll probably need a 1-inch line. He said, inside diameter or outside diameter? I said, I don't know. So I asked him, is he pipe sizes inside diameter or outside diameter? And it's a valid question. No sense getting all this stuff put in, but they recommend plastic pipe, and they recommend, you know, if you get the pipe to the area and turn it up in the ground, when they pour the concrete, they'll plumb into it, and that's I only know one of the installations is going to have a new electric service, so the power company won't deal with the old ones, an old 60-amp service hanging on the side of the building, and that wire is tattered at best. And so they're going to have to put in, but they'll put a new main disconnect box and everything in, right? The contractor said that's not a problem. But if you have questions, please do this. We're going to invest about, I believe, about $26,000 into this setup out here, maybe 24 into this, but. The generator will run both buildings, so you will have heat and electric in both buildings, and you know, as long as you have propane here. And like I said, this is a different situation, so we're starting with this one. Questions?
Is this grant money, Pat?
Nope, county court money.
Hey,
One more thing then. I'm gonna
Okay.
interrupt you.
You
Since
go
it's
ahead.
county court money, would it not be feasible to have one person in the county to go and make sure that an air filter and an oil filter is changed in all the units?
Well, I talked about that, and I talked to Beth Keller about that, and I got as far as getting the money out of my account. They give me money. I never had money before when I did this before, so that's a new thing for me to have a little money. But I told them I'd buy the stuff. But like the people out of Smith School said, they'd service it. It wasn't a problem, and I service mine every year. It's not a big deal. I mean, just drain the oil out, pour the oil in, change the filter, and put an air filter on.
I just was curious to make sure it wasn't grant money, that somebody didn't have to keep
No,
involved.
no,
That it was.
we started out asking the county court, we divided it. It seemed like a large amount of money to me. And We asked for 3 phases to be done. The first phase would have been the park and the Smith community and the Oxford Grange. They, no problem with that, and then they turned around and had money available, so they funded all of them. And that's what we're working on, is county court money. So, needless to say, we've taken a big step from last year to this year, but being the power outages, now we have places. And things like the park, you think about the park, it's what's called a total shelter. It's got food preparation, it's got sleeping facilities, it's got, its own water system, shower, bathroom facilities. You know, it's a contained unit, and we get the alternate power in there, they even have a swimming pool. I mean, you know, what more could shelter people want than be able to go out and swim?
Right.
Steak before you go swimming?
Take your animals to the barn.
Yeah, you take your animals down to the barn, you have everything, but there's, the big thing on that, there's 5 water wells on that place. And now we're talking to maybe someplace down the line getting city water on top of that. You know, that's a total, and it's got a large, 500 people type thing. So, like I said, that this one, as far as the shelter goes, like the Smithburg Fire Department, they don't have food preparation. You don't have what's called food preparation, like the West Union Volunteer Fire Department, they've got a commercial kitchen. So we've actually got 2 facilities on generators right now that we could do food preparation if we had to, but we only got one little tiny shower. And you get 4 people in that, it's not.
Kind of tight turnaround.
Yeah. But anyway, what I'm saying is, it's just not, everything offers different things. Greenwood's got the old school facility down there, so they've got a large facility, a gymnasium, they've got food preparation, they got, cooler facilities, they get, they're a function. But if you look at each one of them in the county, when you pull the whole network together, we can do it all with this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're looking at now, and that's what I'm here tonight for, to let you know the generator's coming. There's some work that has to be done. I need some stuff back from you guys. We'll get the memorandum of agreement up and try to answer any of the questions. As soon as you have the questions, please get a hold of me, because I need to get them answered as soon as I can. And the questions you guys have, when I go to the next meeting, they'll have questions. I'm just going to keep piling the questions up and getting them answered as they go, and then maybe I'll learn from you guys and learn from them, but we're just starting out right now. If you decide to change the fuel source for any reason, please let me know, because that's a order issue. When we order the difference between natural gas and propane, they got to change all the orifices and stuff. They tell me. Gary know about orifices.
Hit the water rails.
Oh, yeah, but I'd say ours would be natural